Christine, how much does it hurt the WNBA when Caitlin Clark is out?
It is devastating to the WNBA when Caitlin Clark is out.
Now, I know a lot of us were expecting some sort of dip since Caitlin Clark has been out with injury, but I don't think all of us were expecting the entire viewership of the entire WNBA to be down. And this tweet from Christine Brennan really stuck out to me. She said, one player gets injured and more than half the TV audience for the entire league disappears. Has any other athlete ever had that kind of impact on a sport? Golf without Tiger definitely dropped precipitously on occasion.
Almost unbelievable. The moment Caitlin Clark isn't on the hardwood, the WNBA starts free-falling financially, and the league looks powerless to stop its own collapse. It feels like the people in charge haven't learned the most basic lesson. Protect the one player who single-handedly dragged the WNBA out of irrelevance and into mainstream conversation. Instead, what we're witnessing is a league tripping over itself, undermining its future while its biggest star is stuck on the sidelines. And with every passing day, millions of dollars are evaporating.
And the truth is the truth, and the data is there. And what we saw when Caitlin was out the last time, the 5 games that she missed earlier in the season, the WNBA's viewership dropped more than 50%. Not just the Fever, but the entire league.
In today's media circus, numbers can be twisted, and sold-out crowds without Clark on the court don't always tell the full truth. But the harsh reality became painfully obvious the first time she went down with that quad injury on May 24th. Now she's missing games again, this time with a groin problem. No one really knows how long she'll be out, and what we're watching feels like a rerun of the disaster that already played out just a few weeks earlier.
Quad injury jumped to her groin likely because of compensation. But the thing that you have to be careful of is if, say, you try to rush her back from this injury as well, then you're getting into this territory where a very serious injury can happen. That is what the Indiana Fever, that is what Caitlin need to avoid the best that they possibly can. So if it means that Caitlin is out for 3 weeks, if it means that she is out all the way through All-Star, then so be it.
Here's where it gets ugly. National TV audiences for WNBA games collapsed, dropping a staggering 55%. Matchups that pulled over 1.8 million viewers when Clark was playing shrank to barely 847,000 when she wasn't. It didn't stop there. Indiana. Fever games alone lost 53% of their viewers. That's not a dip, that's a nosedive. And the wild part, actually the dangerous part for the WNBA's future, is how league officials are acting like they don't notice. They're ignoring a crisis that's staring them in the face.
Clark went down. The WNBA ratings have dropped over 55% across the board.
Hey, guess what, guys?
The league is Caitlin Clark.
The league is Caitlin Clark. She is the WNBA, guys.
Sidelined with a left quad strain May 24th. National TV viewership has plunged since then 55%. Before the injury, the Fever, her team, were averaging 1.81 million viewers, almost 2 million. Since her injury, fewer than 850,000.
Meanwhile, Clark was out there doing what only she can do, filling arenas, smashing television milestones, and driving record-breaking revenue, while the league did what it always does, absolutely nothing to shield its top attraction. They've stood by while opponents repeatedly rough up the one player, responsible for more than a quarter of the WNBA's entire financial value, brushing it off as just part of the game. And what makes it worse? This isn't even new. We've seen it before. A marquee player goes down, the league refuses to adjust, and instantly revenue and ratings fall apart. It's like someone touching a hot stove, burning themselves, then doing it again as if they're shocked by the result.
News is alarming for the league, and it's alarming for the league because this is such a crucial year for the WNBA. At the end of this season, the WNBA will go into CBA negotiations. If negotiations go well, then every single player in the WNBA has a much better chance of making so much more in their next contract. And that's one thing when you start thinking about how many people stopped watching when Caitlin Clark got injured. A lot of people stopped watching because they are boycotting the WNBA. They don't want to give viewership to any other teams or any other players, whether they like other players on the team or not, because of how the media and the league itself has handled Caitlin Clark and how they have treated her.
And hey, If you're shaking your head at how wild this has gotten, make sure you hit that subscribe button, because financially, the crash has been immediate and severe. Ticket prices for Fever games have collapsed by an insane 71%, falling from around $860 to barely $250 in some cases. For games Clark has missed overall, average ticket costs sank from $1,370 to only $80. That isn't just a drop, it's a free fall, and it shows exactly who's driving the demand. Remember when games had to be moved into bigger arenas just to handle Clark's fan base? Now those same events can't even sell out. Take the much-anticipated Chicago Sky vs. Fever rematch. Ticket prices tumbled from $210 to only $95. That same game once brought in 2.25 million viewers, one of the most watched in league history. Without Clark, it's just another matchup, and casual fans are tuning out completely.
What's really concerning about this is the fact that we are only a month into the regular season, and Caitlin Clark has already been out with 2 injuries. With the first one being her having to miss some time with a left quad strain. Now, of course, this is concerning because if you're already on your second injury, you don't want to be that player that is always hurt. Cough, cough, Embiid, cough, cough, Anthony Davis. So I really do hope that the Fever really sits her out right now for a while, only because you don't want her to have more long-term injuries and be more prone.
One of the sharpest voices calling out the league's mishandling of Clark has been veteran journalist Christine Brennan. Her upcoming book on Clark's rise and the evolution of women's sports is already set to expose many of these failures. After another game where Clark was blatantly targeted, Brennan said, "The WNBA continues to fail to meet the moment. This is what people see when they watch in greater numbers than ever before." And she's right. By the league's own numbers, Clark drives more than half of their TV audience. Yet she's left to absorb cheap fouls and unnecessary contact designed to shake her. It's like a restaurant letting customers heckle and harass the only chef people actually come to eat for.
Man, bruh. Congratulations to the WNBA. Your ratings are going to drop by 55 to 60% once again. I believe the WNBA have successfully broken Caitlin Clark.
By now, the cycle is obvious. Opponents, more focused on making statements than actually playing basketball, keep hammering Clark with unnecessary fouls. Here's the stat that says it all. 5 of the WNBA's 30 hardest fouls against Clark happened in 2024, and 80% of them came from the Chicago Sky. If she pushes back, she's called confrontational. If she stays quiet, she's labeled weak. The league has trapped its most valuable star in a lose-lose situation and refuses to fix it, and the fallout is crushing the entire WNBA economy. The league was already projected to lose $50 million this year. Now, without Clark on the floor, those losses are ballooning as viewership tanks, merchandise stalls, and ticket sales sink back to where they were before her arrival.